Welcome back to our channel. This week we have many exciting things for you. In our hardware review section we have the ultimate Commodore 64 cartridge, the Kung Fu Flash. In our old new game section we are reviewing Rocraft for the Amiga and the Age of Heroes for Commodore 64. We're opening the DOS Vault for the Zillard, an amazing classic RPG platform from Sierra Online. For our new retro game review, we play the amazing remake of the classic Exelon. And finally, in our history lesson, we look into the story of the toughest father-in-law in video game history. So let's dive once again into the world of yesterday's future for the love of retro. Well, let's go. Hello and welcome to this week's Old New Games review. We're having this week Rocraft, an Amiga game from Badger Pants Games and published by Thalamus Digital Publishing. It's a roguelite. We've picked the warrior here with an isometric view, but not the classic isometric controls. I mean by that you don't have the tank controls. You just point at the direction you want to go and you go. It's like I said, an excellent roguelite. To attack, you just use the same system with the EAS or YS, I don't know how you want to call them, the classic PC Engine RPG games. You just point at the direction, move at the direction of your enemy, and your character attacks automatically. Let's pick the wizard now, which is the medium difficulty character. The rogue, I'm sorry. When there are no enemies on the screen, you can move about continuously, but because of the way the combat system works, when there is an enemy on the screen, each time you take a step, he takes a step, so there's a small pause. Well, that chicken committed suicide. I didn't know I'm so scary. The game features a surprising amount of chickens, or chickens, as they're referred to. The main body in the early levels, the main body is these Cthulhu clones, which they pay back quite a bite. You can use the inventory items by keeping the fire button pressed and moving the joystick to the direction of the object you want to use. It's a simple and effective system. Another scary chicken. This one was braver than the last one, who took its own life. It's a very good game. The premise is classic. It requires an amount of strategy on your behalf, as most roguelite games, but at the same time the action is quite fast. These hearts replenish your energy, your health. You also have a strength meter, which is how strong, represents how strong your hits are. That object raised my strength permanently. Let's check out the third character, which is the wizard, and he is supposed to be the toughest one to play. He has the smallest amount of health, but has has the ability to use spells later on. Now this is a very well made game. The music, nothing special but functional, and it suits the game. The controls are very simple. The graphics, the animation, they're all very well made. This could have been a major hit back in the day. And I know that it's also the winner of the Debug Indie Game Awards for 2025. I recommend this game. It's 10 euros. You should definitely buy it. Support the developers, keeping the scene alive. It's an excellent game. You're gonna have lots and lots of fun with it. And with that said, we're gonna see our wonderful dead screen and move on to our next game for the Commodore 64. The Age of Heroes, a game by Cytronic Software. Let's choose a warrior here. Okay, it's a game that's reminiscent of the Rastan Saga. The graphics are very good and the animation. It's a fun game. For some reason, these hearts replenish our energy. For some reason, the game also reminds me of Super Wonder Boy in Monsterland. There are no games, though no shops to buy stuff. But I don't know, something about the atmosphere or the graphics, not sure. Of course, definitely more resembles Rastan Saga, the classic games. There's a big variety of enemies, and there is also an overworld map where you can choose your next destination. This is the map. Let's go to this wonderfully named place, Deadhead. I didn't expect it to be a snowy place. These guys carrying shields, obviously. I leveled up there, raising my total strength, my total health bar. These guys with shields, obviously, you have to hit them from below. The traps on the ground, the background's change in its new area, which is really, really cool. You don't get to stand still in one place or the enemies will swarm you, which I believe is a very good feature, because well, that shows that the game doesn't stay idle while you stand idle. Now let's see what we get to do with this altar here. If I seem like I'm doing, well, crazy stuff, it's because I'm trying to figure out whether this door opens or I get to place something there. I don't know. Well, no, obviously the door doesn't open. Probably, obviously I have to get something for that altar. Let's go to another area. Daenerys. Yet another majestic place. The controls are very responsive. The collision detection is excellent, knowing that when you get bitten up by the bad guys, it's entirely your fault. It's easy to hang on the ropes. The game is forgiving. It's not exactly on the easy side. I think it's well balanced. It's an excellent game. One of the best I played on the Commodore, and I definitely recommend it. It's a cheap game. It's €5 as always. Support the developers, people. Let's keep the flame alive. Excellent. Hello and welcome to this week's hardware review. This week we're having the Kung Fu Flash cartridge. It's a very well built cartridge, very easy to use. It has a very solid construction, as you can see. It's very well made. It comes in many colors on the market. It's easy to function. You can see how well built it is. It also has a very simple function, only 3 buttons to use. It has the USB port here on the side, as you can see. Also, it's sturdy. I like the beige color, it seems classic. This is a special button. We're going to talk about it in the end. The reset and menu buttons, which the main function, the SD card, the USB port we talked about. It's also very handy. It's not expensive. It's easy to use. Let's plug it here at the expansion port of the Commodore 64, like this. It's easy to use, and turn our system on and see what it does. Alright, the first time you boot up, you are greeted with this screen. It's the structure of your SD card. I have these alphabetically in here. You get to move with a cursor button, up and down, actually down just by pressing it, shift up. It's standard for Commodore 64, and let's just pick a game. Left-right also works, the cursor button, with the same method. Shift cursors. The cursor button is left, and simply pressing it is right. Okay. And enter. Now you see the structure of the disk. You choose your game, press enter. Well, am I a cheater? No. But he doesn't seem to believe me. Okay. Now it's loading. And you're ready. You're good to go. It's as simple as that. This game. Now, let's press the special button on the cartridge. I'm sorry, the menu button. The menu button takes you back to this area here. Now, you can press it continuously. this will enter the diagnostic mode. And it will run some tests, as you can see. You can interrupt them at any given time. There's no problem with that. Now, pressing the reset button gets you exactly to the point you were with the game, the last game you loaded. Now, the menu button, let's go back, and let's load up a T64 file. It works in the exact same way. Just the commands that are used on the background are different. I have to say I'm not familiar with this game. Okay, lots of questions. It's a strategy game, obviously. Now, as you can see, the functions in the cartridge are quite simple, actually. You can reset at any time, and you can go back to the menu at any time. Shift up and return. If you want to go back to the main structure of your SD card, you have to press clear home button, and there you go. It's a very simple to use, very easy to use cartridge. I definitely recommend it. It's fast. You've noticed that the loading times are lightning fast. It's definitely one of the best out there. Get yours now. So, this is the GoFlash. I believe it's one of the best cartridges, if not the best, for the Commodore 64 on the market. Now, a few words for the special button. This one functions in case you load one of the special flash cartridges of the classic Commodore 64. I'm talking about cartridges like Action Replay. You can use it to switch to their mode. The USB is a convenient way to transfer your files in case you don't have an SD card reader directly from PC. The cartridge has to be plugged into the Commodore and turned on. All in all, it's a solid build, easy to use and very fast, as you could see, cartridge. I definitely recommend it. There are the PCB plans to build your own on the market, on the internet. If you're so handy with the PCBs, go ahead, give it a try, but I do recommend buying one. They're not expensive, they're very well made, they come in many colors from some internet sites, and you're definitely going to have a lot of fun using it. Definitely recommend it. Another thumbs up. Welcome back as we open up the MS-DOS Vault again. And this week we're having this excellent classic game called Zillard from Sierra Online. It's a RPG platformer it really reminds me of Super Wonder Boy in Monsterland, Black Tiger or Black Dragon or Black Panther, depending on the region. This is our character, the noble knight Garland, Duke Garland. This is the princess that's been turned to stone by the evil warlord that has risen after centuries and filled the underground with his armies of darkness. Now, as you can see, there are the classic shops that we meet in most... Oh, this guy's pissed I didn't buy anything. Well, that's so much for customer service. Oh, let's try to buy... That's not enough cash for that. We'll buy a seal. It's really necessary for the dungeons. Oh, a sir am I now? We can interact with the villagers by pressing the fire button. This is the church where we can replenish our health when we're wounded. It's another way besides the potions that we can carry. The magic shop. We can buy potions here and other items. For now, we'll just take the Kenko potion. It's a health potion of the smallest caliber. Not enough money yet. Hero, but a poor duke to begin with. Let's move on. The bank is a place that you can deposit your cash and you won't lose them when you die. It's quite practical. Let's deposit all our cash here. Alright. Typical of a bank. Alright, now let's go straight to the dungeons. A very optimistic fellow here. There's also the profit here. We get to raise our levels and statistics every time we gather enough experience points by coming to the wizard, the prophet here that does its mumbo-jumbo stuff. And we get to save our progress too, by recording our experience. Now, let's enter the dungeons. We get this transitional screen, and this is the main game. The music is good, and the animation, although a bit choppy, the graphics are good, and the sound effects. You do want to remember, of course, that this is a game from back in 1987. It came originally for the PC-88, the X1, and the MS-DOS system. It was published, like I said, by Sierra Online, developed by Game Arts. The controls are a bit stiff. Of course, the game is old. These old games, when they're on the platform, the action side, time does not treat well to the controls as it does with an adventure game. That's our inventory. Let's use the potion. It just raises our energy a little bit. Most of the games on the early stages are slugs, frogs, bats. These coins or spheres I collect, the almas, They are the dungeon currency that we get to exchange to the bank for actual money. As you can see, the seal was really necessary. We have to go back by various methods and exits to the village from time to time, not only to record our progress and raise our stats, but to upgrade our equipment, replenish our health. Now, there are also boss fights after a while. This is a transition from one dungeon to the other. It's a very good and classic game. It's reminiscent of many other games of its age. There are not many games like this on the PC, so you should try it. It's fun. It's a little tough and rough around the edges, but it's a good, well-made game, and I recommend it for some classic retro fan. Now let's see our remake game, as we do every week. This is the remake of the classic Exelon. It's a game that came out on many platforms back in the day. My favorite platform, and I think the best implementation, was the ZX Spectrum. It's a run and gun game by the legendary Raphael Kecko and published by Hewson, the original. This one is the remake. It's made by Ben James. It's called Exelon Redux. The graphics are well made. They are keeping the classic feel and look, of course, with an updated palette and animation. The game is not exactly hard or easy. Oh, forgot about those mines. It's a representative game of that age. It's a bit of a trial and error. I mean, in each screen there is a certain method that you have to use to pass, to make it through alive. And once you find it, it becomes... I forgot about these guys too. Oh, damn. I'm not falling for that again. There's no in-game music as far as I know, but I don't think it's necessary. This is the upgrade suit station. Now we get a double laser and a better suit. The controls are excellent and responsive with great collision detection. The atmosphere is great. As far as remakes and reduxes go, this is one of the best I've seen, because mostly it keeps the gameplay fun, as fun as the classic was, but at the same time it updates it a bit, always by respecting, oh, I'm pretty lousy at this, the original. special effects are good. It's a great game. It's free, but as always, I recommend supporting the developers with whatever amount you consider to be a good amount of cash. It's a great game. Go get it, and you won't regret it. Now, in today's history lesson, we're talking about the toughest father-in-law in video game history. Now, we all know about the Famicom, or the NES, depending on your region, the first big hit that built the empire that Nintendo is today. Now, some of you may also know about the video game crash of 1983. The video game crash was the result of a series of bad decisions by the market, and mostly the market leader, Atari. Now, at the same time, back in Japan, the Famicom was already a hit, and the legendary CEO of Nintendo, Hiroshi Yamauchi, had set his sight on the US coast. He decided to enter the market and pick up the pieces and rebuild it from the scratch by implementing a series of new policies. For that task, he asked his son-in-law, Minoru Arakawa, to take a few, of the merchandise, rent a few storage houses, and penetrate the American market with a strict order to succeed or, as legend says, don't come back. Now, Arakawa, being the smart man that he was, made a special deal with all the shopping malls, telling them that if they fail to push the Nintendo consoles, they would get their money back and he would retrieve the remaining stock. A deal that thankfully he didn't have to make good for, because at that Christmas, as we all know, and thanks to the assistance of, the legendary Miyamoto and his creation, Mario, Nintendo took over America and became the empire that we all know today. So, Miyamoto helped Arakawa to get back home and not become an exile. Follow us next week for another small, interesting, and maybe funny anecdote. See ya! Well, this is it. We'll be here next week for the love of retro. Bye.